Difference between gastric and duodenal ulcer. Introduction. Gastric and duodenal ulcers are types of peptic ulcer. Main distinction is that they affect different parts of digestive tract. A person could have both the same time. Some causes peptic ulcer include an excess of stomach acid, bacterial infection, and certain medications. Definition. Gastric and duodenal ulcers are peptic ulcers and which are open sores in the lining of the digestive tract. Here you can see how it's affected, the gastric ulcer and duodenal ulcer. Differentiate gastric ulcer. Gastric ulcer tend to occur in the lesser curvature of the stomach near the pylorus. But duodenal ulcer, it's a peptic ulcer more likely to occur in the duodenum than in the stomach. Here we can see the difference between the gastric ulcer and duodenal ulcer. The gastric ulcer generally it will occur at the middle 2/3 of lesser cure. And the duodenal ulcer generally it will be affected the duodenal bulb. And while coming to the pain, the gastric ulcer, the pain will last for 15 to 30 minutes after meals and it will be relieved by vomiting. And duodenal ulcer, while taking the meal, it will be relieved. And gastric acid, in gastric ulcer, it will normal or low. And duodenal ulcer, the gastric acid will be raised. And vomiting, gastric ulcer vomiting will be common and duodenal ulcer also vomiting common. And weight, gastric ulcer, there will be weight loss, and duodenal ulcer, normally weight gain will be there. And complication, gastric ulcer leads to a malignant tumor, duodenal ulcer never cause. And again, the cause of illness, the gastric ulcer will be less remittent and duodenal ulcer it will be more remittent. And pain, the gastric ulcer it will last for longer duration and duodenal ulcer shorter duration. And food, gastric ulcer provokes the pain and duodenal ulcer relieve the pain. And heartburn, gastric ulcer less common and duodenal ulcer heartburn will be more common. And antacid, gastric ulcer there will be relief for pain not instant and duodenal ulcer prompt relief for pain. And anorexia and nausea, gastric ulcer, anorexia and nausea will be more common and duodenal ulcer it will be less common. And spontaneous perforation, gastric ulcer less common and duodenal ulcer more common. And coming to the age, duodenal ulcer, the age typically it will affect between 30 to 40 years. Gastric ulcer, middle age 50 to 60 years. And sex, duodenal ulcer more, it will be affecting male and gastric ulcer more in female. And occupation, duodenal ulcers is caused due to stress job, example any managerial job. And gastric ulcer also same. And pain, duodenal ulcer, mainly the pain will be in the epigastric region and associated with discomfort. And gastric ulcer also epigastric pain can radiate to back. And onset, duodenal ulcer it will last for 2 to 3 hours after eating and midnight. Gastric ulcer immediately after eating. And aggregated by duodenal ulcer hunger, gastric ulcer eating. Signs and symptoms and clinical findings, duodenal ulcer and gastric ulcer. Duodenal ulcer, hypersecretion of stomach, that is ICL. And gastric ulcer, it will be normal hyposecretion of stomach acid. And duodenal ulcer, there will be weight gain and gastric ulcer weight loss. Duodenal ulcer, pain occurs 2 to 3 hours. Gastric ulcer half an hour to 1 hour. And duodenal ulcer, it will ingestion of food relieves pain. Gastric ulcer, ingestion of food does not help. Duodenal ulcer, vomiting uncommon and gastric ulcer vomiting common. Here you can see the first diagram, it's a healthy stomach. And second diagram you can see the duodenal ulcer and the stomach ulcer. Coming to the area involved, gastric ulcers form in the lining of the stomach. Duodenal ulcers develop in the lining of the duodenum, which in the upper part of the small intestine. Causes: having too much acid in the stomach or digestive tract, any digestive imbalances, problems with the lining that makes it more susceptible to damage, or any bacterial infections, and certain medications also cause peptic ulcers. A person has a higher risk of developing peptic ulcer. They have an overgrowth of that Helicobacter pylori, and this bacteria in the digestive tract, this Helicobacter pylori is a common bacterial infection which is causing the ulcer. And the long-term use of certain medications also may be a cause. That is mainly non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs. It will be mainly damage or irritate the lining and increase the risk of peptic ulcer. And non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug include many other the counter pain relievers such as ibuprofen, naproxen and aspirin. So these are the medication. If you are taking continuously before food, it will be affecting your stomach. Coming to the risk factors, a person's genetics and lifestyle can also increase the risk of developing a peptic ulcer. Other risk factors are being over the age of 70 years, having a history of gastric or duodenal ulcers, recently experiencing serious physical trauma. Continuing beyond non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug, other medications also increase a person's risk of developing peptic ulcer, like anticoagulants, certain steroids, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Coming to the symptoms of gastric and duodenal ulcers are generally similar. The most common complaint is a burning pain in the stomach. And duodenal ulcers may also cause abdominal pain a few hours after eating. And this abdominal pain from a duodenal ulcer may be worse when the stomach is empty. For example, between meals, at midnight, or first thing in the morning. And symptoms of peptic ulcer include heartburn or indigestion, feeling full. Even when the stomach is empty, the person will be feeling of bloating, gas, nausea. Less common and more severe symptoms include feeling lightheaded, weight loss, blood in the stool, vomiting blood, trouble breathing. Coming to the diagnosis, first medical history and symptoms. Blood test. The presence of certain infection fighting cell could mean you have an Helicobacter pylori infection. And the stool antigen test. In this test, a stool sample is sent to a lab for testing. The test looks for certain proteins in the stool related to Helicobacter pylori. And urea breath test. This involves swallowing a pill that contains a special formulation of urea, and we will ask the person to breathe it into a collect bag before after swallowing the pill, and then the carbon dioxide level will be measured. And when the Helicobacter pylori is present, the urea in the pill is broken down into certain type of carbon dioxide that can be detected. Esophagogastroduodenoscopy. Here doctors usually will be assess your esophagus, stomach and duodenum. So endoscope will be passed, and through they will be visualizing the esophagus, stomach and duodenum, and mainly the patient will be lying in the left lateral position. It's a non-invasive procedure. And EGD test involves passing a lighter flexible instrument with a camera on its end known as a scope through the stomach and down to the esophagus, stomach and small intestine. Coming to the treatment, proton pump inhibitors including omeprazole, pantoprazole and lansoprazole. So usually it will be given half an hour before food. And H2 receptor antagonist including formatidine and cimetidine, protectants such as sucralfate, antacids such as calcium carbonate and calcium bicarbonate, these also will be given half an hour before food. And stress reduction and trust. So reducing environmental stress requires physical and psychological modifications on the patient's part, as well as aid and cooperation of family members and significant others. And complete cessation of smoking. Many studies have shown that smoking decreases the secretion of bicarbonate from the pancreas into the duodenum, resulting in increased acidity of the duodenum. Dietary modification. Avoiding extremes of temperature of food and beverages and overstimulation from consumption of meat extract, alcohol, coffee and other caffeinated beverages, and diets rich in cream and milk should be implemented. Thank you.